The Lord be with you and with your spirit. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He takes away every branch in me that does not bear fruit, and everyone that does he prune, so that it bears more fruit. You are already pruned because the word that I spoke to you remain in me as I remain in you. Just as the branch cannot bear fruit on its own unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, because without me you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me will be thrown out like a branch and wither. People will gather them and throw them into a fire, and they will be burned. If you remain in me, and my words remains in you, as for whatever you want, it will be done for you. When this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit and become my disciples. The Gospel of the Lord. Take a seat. My brothers and my sisters, many of us think that living a Catholic life is just a matter of following a set of God-imposed rules, more or less strict, following which qualifies us to enter a beautiful place called heaven. We look at God as a bookkeeper who has a list with two columns, one for good works and the others for bad, and which he makes entries based on our behavior. At the end of our life, he adds up the columns. If the good works columns tallies up higher, then we go to heaven. If not, then we go to hell. Obviously, Catholic life is more than just the above. Catholic life is precisely what it says. Life in Jesus, or to be more exact, life in relationship with Jesus and under guidance of His Spirit with the Father. This is precisely what the parable of the vine and the branches tells us. Jesus is true vine and His Father the vine grower. As vine, Jesus accepts the authority of the Father over Him. My food is to do will of the one who sent me. This is how Jesus achieves fullness of life. My brothers and my sisters, in turn we obtain our own fullness of life only through our relationship with in faith and love with Jesus, and in loving service for others. This happens when we believe in Jesus and show it by our love for one another. For as Jesus says, as John says in the second reading, His commandment is this: we should believe in the name of His Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another just as He commanded us. Jesus made the assertion that He is the vine during farewell address after the Last Supper. He is the one who can bear the fruit that the Father desires for us. our redemption. And this took place when he obeyed the Father unto death, even death on the cross. For this reason, the Father raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand. From there, Jesus pours his life into us through his own Spirit, the Spirit of life. Jesus can do this because he has taken upon himself and hold of the humanity. He made them a part of himself when he said, I am the vine, you are the branches. Just as the branch receives its life from the vine, we individually and as a member of the community of believers receive divine life through Jesus. This is how inseparably we are united with Jesus. You are the branches. Jesus is true vine because united with the Father in love. He lives for others. We become living branches when united with Jesus in love. We love one another in turn. Remain in me, cut off from Jesus, we are nothing. For out ourselves, we cannot receive the gift of divine life, nor pass it to others. This realization can make us humble and thus keep us away from overestimating our worth and abilities. The branch must bear fruit. How? By remaining in Jesus. Whoever remains in me and I in him, said Jesus, will bear much fruit. To remain united with him at the starting point and goal of Catholic life. It is also the basis for our bearing much fruit. Remaining in Jesus, we can bring to reality our potential, big or small. What is this fruit that God accepts of us? Fruit of love. Did we do out of love for God and neighbors? As John says in the second reading, let us love not in word and speech, but in deed and truth. This tells us that we do not live for ourselves only. Neither do we believe alone. As in other things, we need the support and prayers of the believing community for our own faith life. For the vine to bear much fruit, it must be constantly pruned. Which branches are pruned? Those which, though they have much leaves, do not bear fruit. They are then gathered and burned. This should prompt us to dissociate ourselves from people and things that hinder our remaining in Jesus. As Jesus has said, if your eyes causes you in sin, tear it out and throw it away. This is better for you enter into life with one eye than with two eyes to be thrown into fiery Gehenna. There is one test for the greatness to our life of love. Does our life bear the fruit of faith and love in others? Does it inspire others to seek Jesus because of the fruit we bear? If not, then the life of Jesus is not in us. On the other hand, when our relationship with Jesus blossoms into good relationship with others, when we are concerned about the actually help the sick, the poor, the lonely, all those who suffer, then we are the branches, make the vine straight and bear much fruit. love for God and for one another shown in deeds in the unmistakable sign that we are truly the disciples of Jesus. Our fullness of life cycle is just this. We have life by remaining in Jesus, who in turn remain in the Father. And for us to remain in Jesus, we have to bear fruit and love in the service of others. Amen. My brothers and my sisters, let us summarize our faith by proclaiming a creed handed down from the early church. Let us stand. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and Jesus Christ, his only